On November 28th, 2017, over a month ago, I did an unboxing video where I unboxed my Nintendo Switch, which I was so happy to get, because I had been wanting them one ever since it was announced, ever since back when it used to be called the Nintendo NX, before even people knew what the hell this thing was called. I wanted one. Um, Now that I've had mine for over a month now, and I've played with it, and I've experienced, using it regularly, I decided I wanted to do a follow-up video like I said I would in my unboxing. So consider this my thoughts now on the system now that I've had it for over a month. Um, and in all honesty, my thoughts on the system hasn't really changed. Uh, I think it's a fantastic console. I think Nintendo has done a fantastic job with it. Now, you will notice a few things about my Switch in particular, if you got a close eye, that aren't exactly stock. For example, the kickstand on the back of my Switch is a third-party kickstand because, let's be honest, the kickstand that comes with the console, not that good. So the console has some obvious problems. But does that mean you shouldn't get one or you should be wary of getting one? Um, to answer that question, quite frankly, I say, yes, the console does have a few obvious problems, but they're not major problems. They're more minor things that can be slight annoyances, but not anything that hinders the functionality or the overall experience of using the console. Like, for example, the kickstand that comes with the console isn't very good. So I recommend personally the third-party aluminum kickstand by Nyko, which you can find at your local GameStop for like $5. That's how much I paid for mine. Or you can get one off Amazon if you don't have a GameStop where you live. Uh, but I paid $5 for mine at GameStop. And it fits perfectly, and it looks nice. It's made of aluminum, and I'm not gonna take it off because that's the one thing is that it's kind of a pain in the ass to put on. But you can see if I get close here that it's not completely flush with the console, and that's because it actually has a storage spot on the underneath that you can store extra memory cards uh, if you so choose to. So not only is it an amazing kickstand for the price that's far superior over the original, um, but it also has a built-in little storage thing to where you can keep some extra memory cards, which you're gonna need, because that brings us right into the second flaw with the console, and that is the storage space. Right out of the box, but before you even open the box, the hard drive built in is a 32 gigabyte hard drive, of which right out of the box you only have 25 gigabytes to use after updates and configs and all that. So really, you're getting 25 gigabytes, which if you buy all of your games physical copies like I have here, like I have here, then that's not going to really be a problem. But for the average person who downloads most of their games, that can be a serious issue. Because if I wanted to download Skyrim, it's 18 gigabytes to download this game. So realistically, unless you're downloading a very simplistic game, you pretty much out of the box only have storage for one game. So definitely recommend a memory card. I currently only have, let's see, what do I have in here? I have um a 8 GB memory card, which isn't that much. But it was just a memory card I had lying around. So I do plan to buy a bigger one for it eventually. So that's the second flaw with the console is that the storage space, if you like to download a bunch of things, the storage space isn't that great. But thankfully, Nintendo included a SD card slot underneath the kickstand where you can just buy a memory card, pop it in, and you're good to go. So thank God they did that, because otherwise that would be a huge turnoff for the console. So that brings me to the third and pretty much final complaint with the console, and that is that the screen will get scratched by the dock. I know people are like, oh, it's just a fucking myth, or no. It will happen. It's happened to me. Um, and it doesn't matter how careful you are with it, eventually it's going to scratch the screen. Now, I did buy a screen protector for the Switch. So that's why my screen's all shiny now. If I go like this, it's all shiny. Um, and that's because I have a tempered glass screen protector. I personally recommend I actually have the box right here because I have two of them. But the premium tempered glass screen protectors by Orsley, you can find them on Amazon, and they're fantastic. They're tempered glass. They come in a twin pack. Let's see if I can pull one out here. See, this is the one that I did not use because it comes in a twin pack. But see, there we go. So if I lightly just kind of take this coating off here. There we go. So there you go. You got a nice premium tempered glass screen protector there. I'm going to try to put this back in so I don't break it. But they're very nice, and they're thin enough that you can still use the touchscreen with them on. So don't worry about ruining your touchscreen functionality. The touchscreen will still work with one of these on. That being said, I got mine on Amazon in a twin pack for $8 because it was on sale. Regularly, they're $32. If you're gonna buy a screen protector, buy this one. Don't buy the ones that they sell at GameStop or one of the film screen protectors. If you're gonna go for a screen protector, go for the tempered glass, because the film ones just leave a bunch of bubbles on the screen and it's just not pleasant. And then you end up having to tear it off to fix all the bubbles. And then by the time you've done that, you've ruined the screen protector, in which case you have to buy another one. So just go for a tempered glass solution. Hopefully they're still on sale on Amazon. Again, got mine for $8. Perfectly happy with it. I'm actually giving the second one that it came with to my nephew, who also has a Nintendo Switch. So for $8, if you have two people, you and maybe another family member who have Nintendo Switches, for $8 you can both get a tempered glass screen protector, and it's really nice. So those are my three main complaints with the console. So now we get into the overall experience using the console. What's it like? Have you had any problems with the Joy-Cons or anything like that? And I'm loading up my menu right now, and I just want to say, first of all, I love the Joy-Cons. I absolutely love them. The Joy-Cons are a kind of controversial thing because it's one of the things that you either love it or you don't. I personally love them. And the controversial thing about them is using them in the Joy-Con grip, which I'm going to slot them in now. Because, you know, it's supposed to simulate a traditional controller, which me personally, I feel it does very well for what it is. Most people seem to not like the Joy-Con grip. I personally think it's perfectly adequate. Now, I will say that the shoulder buttons, the L and R buttons, are a little thin. So if you're playing competitively, then you probably want to get a Pro Controller or some sort of cheap alternative to a Pro Controller, because the Pro Controllers are very expensive. But, sliding the Joy-Cons on and off is very simple. It's very smooth. It's nice. And then fucking sliding them into the grip is fine. Battery life on these suckers is supposed to be 20 hours each. I've never actually used them long enough for them to ever fully go dead. So I've never once gotten into a scenario where the batteries are like, oh, your batteries are dying. No, these have pretty much always been on full charge since I've gotten it, and I've used it for like a month straight now. So good job, Nintendo, on that one, because that would have been a pain in the ass if these kept dying all the time. So the 20-hour battery life, unless you're literally having a 20-hour straight play session, battery life should not be a problem. That being said, my personal recommendation to make sure that your batteries never go out is you play for however long you feel like playing, whether it be an hour just casually, or maybe you're more a gamer that sits down and plays for like 6 or 7 hours. But you play for however long you want to play, and then you just make sure that at the end of the day, before you go to bed, you just slot them onto the console, and you throw the console. Well, don't throw it, but set it gently into the dock. And then when you wake up, you fucking take them off and you play some more. Because if you. So long as you're putting these back onto the console and putting the console back into the dock every night before bed, I guarantee you will never run out of batteries on these unless you're playing like a 20 plus hour play session straight, or if you have a defective battery, which I've never heard of anybody reporting that. I've never had any problems with mine, so I pretty much guarantee so long as you do that, you will never have problems with battery life. And if you do, they sell third-party products for that, because, third-party products for pretty much everything you could ever want. So, that being said, the Joy-Cons, people have mixed feelings about them. I love them. I feel they are just amazing. I like playing it like this with them both attached. If I'm out somewhere, then sometimes I'll prop it up on the stand there, and I'll just kind of casually have one in each hand like this. And I'll be playing maybe at a coffee shop or something. I remember one time I was waiting for my mother because we pulled into a parking lot, and I had to go to one building in the parking lot, and she had to go to another building. Um, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get my stuff while you get your stuff, and I'll meet you back at the car. Well, I get back to the car, and she, of course, she only went in for like two or three things, but she locked me out of the car. So I'm sitting in the parking lot. I got nothing better to do. I'm waiting for a good 30 minutes. I'm like, you know what? I fucking set my Nintendo Switch on the roof of the car with the little stand propped out, and I was sitting there playing some fucking Rocket League. Um, I wasn't playing online, obviously, because I didn't have internet connection, but I was sitting there in the parking lot playing some Rocket League, waiting for her. So, the portability is great. The Joy-Cons, I feel like, are amazing. Um, the dock itself, it does the job, but it doesn't do it well. I've never had any problems with actually getting the picture to show up on screen. That works every single time. It's literally just like in the commercial. You pull it out of the dock, and then it's on this. You put it in the dock, and then it's on your TV. So, it's just like the commercial. Um, but the dock itself is very cheap plastic, um, which again can scratch your screen. So, screen protector definitely recommended. But using it portably feels great. Um, Now I've never gotten in a scenario where the console died on me, but then again, the most I've ever played it portably in portable mode was probably about 4.5 hours. And they rate the battery life from 3 hours all the way up to 7 hours, depending on what game you're playing. They say Breath of the Wild and games of that uh, demand are more around the 3 hour mark, whereas something a bit simpler like Polybridge, you could probably get like 5 to 6 hours. Um, so I've never been in a scenario where the battery died on me, but the most I've ever played it in portable at one time was 4.5 hours. So that's probably why. But if you're gonna go on a road trip or anything like that, I recommend you get yourself. Let's see, where is it? I thought I had it here. It must be in my Pokemon Go bag, but I have a portable charger that I can plug in to here to boost the battery life, which I've actually never used on the Switch. But if you're gonna go road tripping and you're gonna be out for like 7+ hours, I recommend one of those. Um, but overall, the experience with the console, I absolutely love it. It has a few minor problems, like I've gone over, but now that third party support has been fucking all over the place for this game, now that they have all sorts of, titles available for this game, I absolutely love it. Like I'm loading up the eShop right now, and we got just like this week alone, we've gotten like, let's see, just this week alone, we've gotten, it looks like we've gotten 20 plus new games on the eShop. Let's see. Um, let's see, I'm actually roughly counting them here. Yeah, it looks like we got 20 plus new games available just this week. Uh, So that's pretty amazing. And the third party support has been amazing for the console. The games that are available for it are just amazing. Some of them I can't recommend, like WWE 2K18. Don't get it. Just don't. Just don't. You'd be better off playing a wrestling game on the NES. Uh, the because it's horribly ported. And there's a few mobile games that have been ported over that I can't really recommend. But most of the games that have been ported over have been done very well. And you even got, you got like titles like fucking Octodad on here. You got fucking, let's see, what else we got? Fucking, you got some Neo Geo Art of Fighting 3. There's a lot of Neo Geo games being put out, which is really cool. Because not a lot of people had access to a Neo Geo originally. So that's really cool. You got just so many games. There's just so many games. And I guess that's kind of a problem of itself, is that there's so many games, it's hard to choose which ones to get. But it's just any notion that the Nintendo Switch is a bad console, I think is inadequate. I think, arguably, this is probably Nintendo's best console, like, ever. Now, people are gonna, want to debate that back and forth. There's gonna be a lot of classic diehards that are gonna be like, no, the fucking Super Nintendo was the best console ever. But that's mostly nostalgia. Let's be honest, you couldn't do this shit with your Super Nintendo, alright? Don't get me wrong, I appreciate nostalgia, and I love a lot of the Super Nintendo titles, but you couldn't do this with it. I honestly believe this is probably Nintendo's biggest accomplishment that they've ever done as far as technological advancements, and just it's truly a masterpiece. I mean, again, there's a few slight flaws here and there, but none of them are anything to be majorly concerned about. So, I guess that pretty much wraps up my little, my little rant on the Nintendo Switch. I think the few topics that I haven't really talked about is just the graphical quality of it. Let's talk about that just for a minute, but before I end the video. Because people are debating, well, the games play at 30 FPS, where my PlayStation Pro plays at 60. I got fucking double the frames, and it's like, when it's in portable mode, it's only 720p, and it's only when it's docked that it's in 1080p. Let me put it to you like this. Those claims, they are accurate in most cases. There are a few select titles that do run at 60 FPS for the Switch, but most games run at 30. However, this does not hinder the game quality in any way, in my opinion. I think the only people who should have any sort of gripe with this is anyone who plays competitively. Which, let's be honest, how many titles are there on here that people play competitively? We have Rocket League, and we have Splatoon. That's pretty much it. Maybe ARMS, but I feel like no one really cares about ARMS anymore. And then you have Super Smash Bros., but that's not even on the console, so you can't even count that one. I'm sure it will be on the console eventually. But as of right now, we got Splatoon and Rocket League, which I play Rocket League, and I have no problems with the way it plays on here. However, if you're playing competitively, that's the only time you should ever be worried about 30 FPS versus 60 FPS. As far as just graphically how everything looks, just go watch some of my Nintendo Switch videos that I've done, and you'll see that the graphics are pretty much on point with maybe not PlayStation 4, but they're pretty much on point with Xbox 360 and like the original Xbox One. Xbox One X is slightly above, but I mean the graphics are good. It looks good. The presentation is nice. I don't have a problem with it. The only people who should have a problem with it are people who play competitively. Um, so Rocket League and Splatoon, hardcore players. Uh, but yeah, so the whole thing about performance and all that, yes, it is slightly behind what the PlayStation and the Xbox are capable of. But I don't see you fucking carrying your PlayStation around or your fucking Xbox around and playing it on the fucking subway or at fucking church or wherever the hell you want to play it. No, you can't do that with a PlayStation or an Xbox. You can do that with this. So, yes, it's slightly behind the competition. But let's be honest, Nintendo has always done their own thing. They've never been directly competing against the other platforms. They've always been the pioneers of gaming. So that being said, if you want a great gaming experience that you can do both at home and on the go, get a Switch. That's just what it comes down to. That being said, I love it. I absolutely love it. Um, I I just don't know how they came up with this. It's truly amazing. I find it very hard to find bad things to say about it. Which is a good thing. So, overall, if I had to place this sucker on a scale of 1 to 10, um, I'd put it at a 9.5 every single time. Because it's amazing. There are a few minor things like the dock and the kickstand, which is why I don't give it a 10 out of 10. But I would definitely put this at a 9.5. And Nintendo nailed it with this console. So that's all I have to say on it. You know? And some people might disagree and you're entitled to your opinion, but me personally, I do not regret buying this at all. I could have bought a PlayStation 4. I could have bought an Xbox One. I bought this. That should tell you right there how I feel about the whole thing. Because I could have had a PlayStation 4. I could have had an Xbox One X. But I chose the Nintendo Switch. Because the Nintendo Switch was a unique gaming experience. Unlike anything we've ever had. And I do not regret it. I do not regret it one bit. So, 9.5 out of 10. Would buy again. If I could go back in time, I would not change a single thing. So there you go. That is my opinion on the Nintendo Switch. And if there's any topics that I might have missed, you know, let me know in the comments. Let me know how you feel about it. If you have a Nintendo Switch, if you plan to get one, hopefully, if anyone was on the fence about getting one, hopefully these videos were able to help you come to a decision. But I do not regret it. I do not regret buying this. And I don't think I ever will. So, there you go. there you go. So that is my full opinion on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm totally fine with it. I love it, and I'm never going back. So that being said, let me know what you guys think down below. But thank all you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to become one of the ground babies, and I'll see all you guys next time. Goodbye, guys.